Heineck here. It's the end of October and we have been blending for the last 2 weeks. Now, blending is a very important part of making these beautiful wines in front of us. It's about taking different components, different barrels, one of the blends we've been working on is the Per Se Cabernet Sauvignon blend. So we've been working on the 2024 vintage of Per Se. It's that block in the background there in brown, one of our oldest blocks on Oldenburg, so 20 years old. We've used the single block. As you know, Per Se is a single block wine, but what we've done is we've actually harvested that block in 4 different sections, put it into different barrels, treated the fermentations differently, and Chris and I have gone through the vineyard and actually tasted, and according to taste, we have made the 4 different cuts in the vineyard. So we've then taken those blocks, tasted them, put them together, and seeing what each different component does. So Lucillia, maybe you can take us through the process of how we start blending the collection of the samples.
So firstly, we would work out the amount of liters that we have, and to make up the sample, you have to take a little bit of each barrel to have a representative of each of the batches. All of that is stored into a bottle or smaller containers, and we do that process for each batch that we have in the cellar. Keep it all separate, and then everything's brought up to the tasting process for the blending to start.
Yeah, and then what we'll do is we'll take all those different batches and we'll taste every single component, make notes of the component. Maybe there's a component that's quite fruit driven, maybe there's a component that's quite tannic, and we'll use all those different components to start the art of blending and really putting the wine together. So we might have a blend, we might need a little bit more tannin, so we might add a little bit more of a tannic section of that vineyard, maybe something that's slightly higher up on gravel. Then we might need a fruit component, and by tasting through we'll know what component to add for the fruit. And even if we need a bit of freshness, we might even delve into a younger vintage like the 2025, which is we've got some beautiful young vineyards that have just come into production. So we actually took a little part of a younger vineyard from 2025, maybe even 2-3%, just to freshen up the blend. So there's a lot of art that goes in, there's a lot of skills. My 7 vintages on the property has really got me to know all the different blocks, and it's amazing that after a bit of time and spending time with the vineyards, I'm actually now only starting to figure them out. And you've just come on board, but you've brought your skills over from also many years of blending, and I think the 2 of us together can really, really bounce off each other and put something amazing together.
Yes.
The next steps are, we've put this blend together in a measuring cylinder. So now we actually have to go back to the barrels and mimic exactly what we've done in the lab. But what we've done was pretty much on scale, because you took small 100 ml samples from every single barrel. So we put the blend together on paper and in a small sample bottle. It's gone off to the lab. We're taking a look at what the analysis looked like, and then in about a month's time we'll start taking the wines out of barrel in that proportion and putting it into stainless steel tank, allowing it to settle naturally, and then in December we'll be bottling it. But while we're putting the blend together, we've got the 2022 Per Se, which has just been released in the tasting room. This is an amazing wine. That beautiful Banu Cab, that lovely red fruit, dark fruit. We've got some lovely cassis there and lots of beautiful structure on this wine. Seeing that it's a Friday, we will actually be enjoying this. Cheers.
Cheers.
Amazing tannin, amazing length. Come out to the tasting room, come and taste this wine. I think it's one of the finest examples of Cabernet ever made on Oldenburg.